Oh, thank you for joining me. It's Sunday, June 26th. There is nobody doing a live stream, so I figured I'd do one just for fun. Because I know in the matter of minutes, there's going to be a few other people that's going to start a live stream because I started one or because there's no one else doing one. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm in southern Kentucky, headed to Macon, Georgia. I'm about an hour from the Tennessee border, and I'm about an hour and 20 minutes from Nashville, the music capital of the world. Although I beg to differ, but there's a lot of musicians of all different stripes from Nashville. I just hope to get through there. I'm glad it's Sunday, and those Panays who are joining me either now or later on, I know who didn't go to Mass or who isn't going to Mass because I know I haven't. I haven't gone to Mass over 10 years. I don't know, is that bad or good? Yeah, I don't think it really matters. But I do know my microphone is working, I hope. And there's nobody in here to tell me if it's working or not. Because if it's not, then you're not going to hear anything. You'll hear me talking, but you won't be able to make out any words. But I'll keep going as if my microphone is working. I just want to thank Dan of Venture for sort of easily talking me back into doing live streaming because a lot of people could really use an articulate information to understand what we're all going through because we're all living through history right now, especially if you live in the United States. Um, we're going through a lot of changes, mostly bad, but when you get this much bad, eventually something good will come out of it. What that is, I have no idea yet. Remains to be seen. Just all depends on how much we're willing to expect and how much we're willing to accept. You know, I was raised because I remember when I was a kid having my priorities straight. I don't expect Filipinos to understand that word. That's using the English language to an extreme. But priority means you got to do what's important first before you do something that's more not as important. But I've learned that when I look at the grand scheme of things as an adult, I predominantly have my priorities straight compared to when I was a kid. And I look around and I'm seeing these adults and I'm seeing these senior citizens making decisions, especially in our government, making decisions that it's like, really? This is a priority over what's been going on in the past 2 years. I can see you're in here, Sammy. I appreciate it. Can you tell me if my microphone is working or not? Yes or no? Because if it's not working, I'll just end my live stream and I'm sure there's somebody doing one right now. That's the only reason why I created this. Plus, you get a good view of the morning sky in the mountains here, in the Appalachian Mountains in southern Kentucky. Uh, I'll just keep going. I don't think Sammy can hear me then. But the priorities, worrying about what other people do in their lives, regardless of what it is, if it doesn't affect you, then why do you let it bother you? Things that are important affect everybody's lives across the board. Robert, can you hear me or not? Clearly, I got to make sure my microphone is working on my headset. Oh, good. Thank you, Sammy. As I was saying, having our priorities straight, what affects everybody's life and quality of life is what's more of a priority than all this other crap that's been going on. I think our economy should really come into question now on how we've done things over the years. Let's look at our economic history, a little something that was not taught to us in school. They felt like it wasn't needed, but oh yeah, it was drastically needed. But those that are in charge, which is your rich elite, corporate elite in this country, saw fit to what went into textbooks that were taught to us in school and what didn't. Why? To keep us all in line the way they wanted us to play the game. And believe and accept without question. Because if you did, you're unpatriotic, you're un-American. To keep them right where they are and you right where you are today. And still having those dreams of one day I'll be well to do just like all these other top 1%ers. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, if you don't win the lottery, never going to happen. Unless you're born into money, never going to happen. Yes, you may have got all this money or $1 million off, Bitcoin, which has gone broke, which is backed by nothing. It's kind of funny that this Bitcoin that is not tangible, is backed by nothing, and there are no workers, is worth more than Apple stock. And Apple stock, makes an iPhone that most Americans pay for. It costs $1,000 that we drop in the toilet. But they make something. There's a lot of workers involved in that to give their stock value. But everybody thinks that Bitcoin and all those cryptos are really worth something. It's kind of funny that one of them, the Dogecoin, was made as a joke, but yet them guys made a lot of money off of it. Hey, it's kind of funny that it's worth more than our own currency, but and yet in order to get the cryptocurrency, you have to buy into it with actual tangible fiat currency, which is our money. But you notice that the people from India and China ain't buying into it, and they banned it in those countries. And those are the biggest markets in the world, is China and India, because the majority of the population of the planet is in Southeast Asia. Big market. That's the number one market. Everybody thinks the United States is. We only have 340 million people that live here. Within India and China, you're talking, 2 to 3 billion people. In those two countries alone. That's not including Japan and all the islands, and Thailand, and the rest of Southeast Asia. But, to each his own. But crypto's been losing money, and it's the biggest Ponzi scheme ever. Look, I'm just trying to help people put together something that was not taught to us and we were lied to, or we just weren't given the right, correct information that would really help people. Worrying about Roe versus Wade does not affect, well, it does affect a little bit, but it doesn't help and improve anybody's lives. It may make those evil evangelicals feel good, but it doesn't improve their life, not one bit. Yes, they stopped, people from getting abortion. I said, I personally don't believe in it, but I don't care if somebody does it or not. If they want to kill their child or whatever it is, I don't care. I have no stake in it. It's not my sin that I have to answer for. I got my own sins to answer for than to worry about somebody else's. But what that is, it's showing you that our freedoms or rights in the United States, in quotes, is slowly being taken away. And those evil evangelicals think that's a victory? No, that's not freedom. That's not democracy. That's called authoritarianism. And probably a little bit of slide of fascism there. Because whenever you have your corporate elite controlling government, which we've had for the past 40 years, along with now a religious side of it, that's what fascism is, ladies and gentlemen. Fascism isn't just tied to people wearing swastikas and jackboots and brown shirts. No, no, it's not. Always remember, the Nazis lost World War II, but fascism won it, my friend. Because you look at the corporate elite here in this country, the majority of them supported both sides of the war. NCR, which is an offshoot of IBM, is a good one. Nestle, Standard Oil before it was busted up. And then you got to figure, who was the director of Standard Oil back then? By a name, Prescott Bush. That last name rings a bell, don't it? Yes, that's George W.'s grandfather. Was a Nazi sympathizer. They were told to stop providing oil and tetranol to them because tetranol is a synthetic fuel that was used by the Luftwaffe, the Air Force of the Germans, and their planes could not get off the ground with it. But there was only one company that made it in the entire planet, and it was Standard Oil. Wouldn't you realize that? But yet our government wouldn't do anything about it. I would have hang those people for treason. But did it happen? No, just swept it under the rug. But this mania for profit needs to stop. It really people need to sit back and take a look and really, I claim to be Christian, and this is what the way I'm acting. The cult of the self here in the United States. That's why a lot of people are so anti-sociable. You invite people to a party. You invite 100 people to a party, Sammy, and you're lucky if 10 people out of that 100 will show up. And I'm like, why? What are people afraid of? And we're wondering why the younger generation are afraid to be sociable because they don't know what it's like because they're not taught. It's not just anointed. This child's going to be a very sociable butterfly. This one's going to be real antisocial. That's not true. You just can't anoint them at birth that's the way they're going to be. It's what they learn from the time they're a baby and they become conscious and they are brought up to be that way. And if they're not brought up to be sociable, they're not going to be. It's going to be really hard for them. And that affects their future relationships. That's why some of them haven't had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. Some of them live like a hermit in their mom and dad's basement. And the only way they can be sociable is on the internet, which is not real. I mean, yes, we are friends here, but I don't consider this particularly 100% real. I'm talking about real friends that you can see face to face and touch each other, and that could look you in your eye and tell you your theories of the upcoming race war is horseshit. That's what kind of friends I'm talking about. And believe me, those are true friends that will tell you straight up to your face that, this is all bullshit. And if we continue down this road, which I see no change, the world's going to pass us, and all these idiots are going to be standing around with these foam fingers with the number one finger, thinking that America's number one. Yeah, number one at being bad. Let's put it that way. Now, you can pretend all you want to, but I love my country, yes. It's the people that are in it that I have a problem with. And seeing masses of millions of people side with somebody, it just, they don't think. They talk about, I don't care about your fucking feelings. And then yet, they're going by feeling and not thinking of who they're siding with politically. I don't side with either one. But the way that these people fell into following our last president, and I'm like, really? And they were all saying the same. We don't care about your fucking feelings. Yeah, what they were addressing was the LGBT community and the young people. And yet, when you ask them for evidence or proof or whatever it is that they're saying, then they attack you because they don't have any. And they say, well, you're going by feeling, aren't you? You're not going by what you think or what really is the evidence, what is true and what's bullshit. You feel and believe. Well, feelings and beliefs, yes, we'll push that to the side and let's go by what we're really seeing. Well, yes, we elected a foul-mouthed president that does say what, openly, freely says what he wants. Well, anybody can do that. Anybody. Anybody can cuss like a truck driver. Anybody can cuss like a sailor. It's not unique. And it's not charismatic either. Yeah, it may be funny and, we got to own the other party. I do not care about that. It's kind of funny when you talk about political parties, especially here in America. You got two. But when you go to a European country, on average, they have anywhere between 6 to, 16 different political parties. But we Americans, we know better. Two's enough. But of course, we believe in freedom of choice. When we go to the store, we want 48 different types of soup. But when it comes to the most important thing, like political parties, two's enough. Two's enough. Really. No, I think we need more. Because this, Texas, Kentucky Fried Two-Step we're doing every 4 to 8 years. I think we've had enough of it, wouldn't you think? Especially if you are in your 40 years old or older. You've lived long enough to see this back and forth hasn't gotten us anywhere, has it? But the rich elite keep getting bailed out. Oh, we can't save those people. We give them free fucking money, give the welfare moms money and everything else. Oh, but we're more than happy to give AIG 800 billion freaking dollars, and they don't consider that an entitlement or socialism. Oh, we got to protect them, even though they fucked up big time. But when it comes to a small businessman like me, it's either sink or swim. Do I get a bailout? No. Will I want a bailout? No, I don't want one. Did I get any of that money, which I could have? No. Me, I don't take money that I don't earn myself because I didn't earn it. That's the way I was raised. But these people, they didn't care. And mention that money, since, the beginning of 2020, the CARES Act and all that stuff. If you add it all up, it was $5.7 trillion. And the government had this pile of money, $5.7 trillion, and had a big sign that says, come and steal it. Well, a lot of them did. A lot of them did. People like Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion, and his company got a PP bailout. But God knows we don't want him to dip into his savings. It's not like he's a multimillionaire himself. We got to protect, don't leave no billionaire behind. But when it comes to people who need it, who are living in a tent under a bridge, oh, fuck those people. That's what America is like. That's what the. Hang on one second. Hang on, people. I think I lost my headset. guys. I should have known better than to use this headset. I'm going to end my live stream here, and I'll continue it later. Hopefully, the people that come to watch this will ask questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. But me, I'm not giving beliefs, and I'm not giving feelings. I'm just laying the facts out as I see them, because I live life in reality. I don't watch much TV. I don't wait for Fox News or some other news source to come to me to give me my daily dose of bullshit. But hey, thanks for coming, guys. I'm going to end here because my headset stopped working for some reason.